So DC Comics canceled all their titles, and now they're starting over fresh with all #1 issues of 52 new titles. And I'm going to go over all 52 of them. DC divided them into 7 categories, so I'm just going to make 7 videos. And the first category is the Justice League.
Justice League.
Justice League #1 is going to be pretty much the cornerstone of the new DC universe. So if you're like, okay, 52 comics, that's way too much. I'm going to read one. If you want to read just one, this is probably a pretty good one. The art alone is probably going to be worth it just because it's drawn by Jim Lee. And the concept of the book is that it's 5 years ago, and so you get to see the Justice League first being formed as all the characters meet each other for the first time. And the roster is going to be pretty basic. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg. Cyborg? That's weird because he's one of the Teen Titans. Why would he get upgraded to Justice League status? It's obviously because he's black. And don't get mad at me for pointing that out. It's not racist. There's 3 possible reasons why they would do this. 1, the character got older. He couldn't be with the Teen Titans anymore, so they put him in the Justice League. And that's ridiculous because it's a fictional character, so he doesn't age. 2, he's black. Or 3, because the character of a teenager who got covered in robot parts was so compelling that they just had to promote him to the fucking Justice League. And as plausible as that sounds, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's because he's black.
Justice League International.
Justice League International is like the shitty Justice League. Because like the roster is Booster Gold, Rocket Red, Vixen, Guy Gardner Green Lantern, Fire, Ice, August General, and Iron. This is just like a random assortment of weird characters. I know who they are, but you don't. You can expect this to be funnier than the regular Justice League because they just get into arguments. But why is Batman there? Of all the Justice League members to go international, Batman is the worst possible choice because he doesn't have the gift of flight or super speed. So if he has to go to another country, it's just a big pain in the ass. So why is he there? It's because when they started Justice League International back in the 80s, all the characters in it were complete unknowns. And all the popular superheroes were all tied up in their own books. So as an act of pity, they threw in Batman just so people would read it. And now, decades later, nothing's changed. And I guess I can see why. Because, you know, Joe Dickhead walks into a comic book shop and he's like, what's this? What are they? Batman. Okay.
Aquaman.
You basically know who Aquaman is. He lives underwater and has underwater powers. It looks like they're really trying to repair the general perception that Aquaman is lame, because this book has one of the best creative teams working on it. But I feel like that, you know what, that still doesn't change the fact that, you know, he lives in the ocean and we don't give a shit about the ocean. I don't care if he listens to my favorite band and goes on Facebook. He's still a fucking lame-ass fucking idiot.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is like an Amazon princess. She comes from an island of exclusively female warriors. Of all the female superhero role models, she's by far the most iconic. Like, girls are supposed to like Wonder Woman, but she doesn't seem very relatable. She's not very human. She's probably the least relatable female character in the entire DC universe. I don't know if I would even want to date her. Like, who dates someone like that? She seems like a total drag. If I could date any female from the DC universe, it would probably be Batgirl, because she's probably tired all the time. So she wouldn't be like, hey, tonight I want us to go check out this indie band I really like. Ugh, what band? She'd just be like, hey, I'm too tired to go out tonight. Why don't you just go to the Red Box and just pick any movie? I don't care which one. Because then I get to pick whatever movie I want. Or Power Girl, because she's got big tits.
The Flash.
The Flash has speed powers. There, you're caught up. I kind of like the third Flash, Wally West. But this is Barry Allen. This is the second Flash, or the Silver Age Flash. He died in 1985, and for a long time was one of very few comic book characters who actually stayed dead, which gave the death some real significance. And it wasn't a stupid death either. He died like saving the multiverse. But they brought him back a few years ago, and he's just been like running around. I don't know what. I don't read The Flash, but I don't think it's the most devastating reversed death. I think the worst death they ever undid is not one I'm going to say now. I'm going to tell you it in the third video. So that'll make you come back. Don't you want to know what I think is the worst fictional death that they reversed?
The Fury of Firestorm.
Apparently there's these two high school students who don't like each other, but if they work together, they're able to summon Firestorm, which is like a thing with nuclear powers, like some kind of monster thing. I don't know. I tried to read about this, but I still don't get it. I feel like here's where we're starting to feel like, DC just had this quota. They love the number 52, so it's like everyone gets a comic. Even this shitty thing. Okay, so it's two high school students. No, I don't care.
Captain Atom.
He's also nuclear. If you're familiar with Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan was actually based on Captain Atom, except Captain Atom's not going to have his dick flopping around unless there's a special issue. He shows his dick in this one. He hasn't had his own comic book in a really long time. I think I saw somewhere this new series is going to focus on him losing touch with his humanity, which could be pretty cool. I'd like to open up an issue of this in the future and just see him really move beyond the petty concerns of this planet. And eventually every issue would just be him flying through endless space, observing cosmic miracles that are interesting to him but really boring to us. And that's just if they want to be accurate.
Green Arrow.
He's like Batman, but he shoots arrows. When Green Arrow was first introduced, he actually was basically Batman with arrows. But then over the years, they came up with all these quirks and like just developed him into his own unique character. But then, okay, a few years ago, the Smallville guys did a spin-off Aquaman show called Mercy Reef. And they did a pilot, and it didn't get picked up. And I guess they felt bad for Justin Hartley, who played Aquaman in that pilot, because they brought him onto Smallville as the Green Arrow. He started a Justice League in Smallville, and he was basically like a young Batman with arrows. And now if you look at the new Green Arrow, they're basing him off Justin Hartley from Smallville. So all these years of crafting Green Arrow into this unique vision. And the next step in that evolution is Justin Hartley from Smallville. And I could see a lot of comic book nerds being very angry at this. But those idiots are going to buy the book no matter what. It's the idiots who watched Smallville, who maybe didn't read comic books, that now might read this book because they like Justin Hartley from Smallville. So, yeah, good call.
The Savage Hawkman.
I don't even know anything about Hawkman. I presume he can fly. It's interesting that they gave him an adjective. They didn't do that with anyone else. The Savage Hawkman. I guess DC has their cool characters, like Batman, Superman, and then they have their less cool characters. And they're taking steps to address that lack of coolness. But when it comes to Hawkman, they got nothing. So they gave him a nickname. But like, it's in the title. It's just such a calculated rebranding. I want you to call me the Savage Hawkman. What? I hope they really follow through on this and give him like a serious anger problem. And like he can't fight crime. He beats Hawkgirl. He gets kicked out of the Justice League and he just goes to meetings. Then like maybe he has a heart attack. He's like, oh, you could do the movie with Mel Gibson.
DC Universe presents.
DC calls this the start of a new series spotlighting some of the DC Universe's most exciting superheroes. Well, if they were some of the DC Universe's most exciting superheroes, they might have their own book. This is in fact a showcase for all the characters who didn't make the cut 51 times. But it's an anthology series, so you don't have to stay monogamous to the same character month after month. If you don't like the first thing they show you, wait like 5 issues for the arc to finish and then they give you a new one. First up is Deadman, who is a character that's dead.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific is a guy, he has like nanobots on his face and they like morph and they can like change his costume and they make him invisible to technology so he doesn't show up on a camera and you can't check him in on Facebook. He learns stuff really fast, like Phenomenon. He's described as the 3rd smartest man in the DC universe. It's kind of a backhanded compliment. The 3rd smartest man. Who's the first two? Batman and Lex Luthor? I'd rather read a Lex Luthor book to tell the truth. Why don't villains ever get their own books? I'd rather read a Phenomenon book. The best thing would be just a movie sequel. Yeah, that's the one. It's the one with the John Travolta gets like a thing and it gives him like mental powers and he gets to fuck the closer. They made a TV show. They could do a comic book. I saw it in the theater. It's a universe to explore. I would see more of that. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. Let me see if it's on Netflix. It's loading. Phenomenon. Ugh, not available to watch instantly. Watch Phenomenon on DVD. Add unlimited DVDs for only $7.99 more a month. But now that's Quickster. Or enjoy these similar titles, Awakenings and Flatliners. No, I really like this movie. I saw it when it came to the theaters in '96. Had the cool Clapton song. They used to do a lot more cross-promotional songs with movies, I feel like, when they had music videos to use as a promotional tool. If you might not remember who's in this movie also, Robert Duvall. But Mr. Terrific, look, I don't know. And that's it for my rundown of the DC New 52 Justice League comics. Be sure to check in for the next vid and I'll tell you some more stuff. Thank you for letting me talk while you played Tetris.